game, game one. Then last night, Kyle Loesch, bases loaded. Jeff Keppinger would clear them. And then right after that, Berkman again off the foul pole down the right field line with a 2-run homer. And that was all that Houston needed. They would win it 9-5. So a bit surprising to see Houston going for a sweep in this series, along with my partner, Al Brabowski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And in many ways, this has been an ugly series, Al, for the Cardinals.
It really has. The Cardinals played good, fundamental baseball, but not in this series. They've committed 5 errors. You see, the Cardinals have scored 9 runs. They have given up 9 unearned runs to the Astros. So that's really been the difference in this game, the faulty defense.
And in many ways, as you've talked about, the Cardinals have a couple of stoppers that go on the mound, and that's Chris Carpenter today. So Carpenter with very good numbers in his career against Houston, against a guy that has shut down the Cardinals a number of times. That's Bud Norris. We'll talk about the starting pitchers when we come back. Carpenter, Norris, next. Baseball, the Astros and the Cardinals. St. Louis looking to avoid the sweep today. It's game number 3 as we wrap up the homestand. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup, and it's Bud Norris, who has been perfect, literally perfect against the Cardinals in his career.
But you can notice he's a nibbler. He'll go out there, try to pitch off the corners. If he gets the calls from the umpires, it helps. And then he's gotten a lot of Cardinal hitters to expand their zone.
On the other side, the ace, Chris Carpenter.
A master, off to a 4-0 start. Lifetime record against the Astros in 14 starts, 6.3, ERA under 3, and a strikeout per inning.
So Carpenter, Norris, 2 right-handers, Cardinals and Astros, game number 3 today here on Fox Sports Midwest. A salute to our troops when we come back. we enjoy here in the United States, and we thank the armed forces for giving us our freedom, and we thank you for what you do. Today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Welcome in, take in baseball, and again, thank you for what you do. They're getting ready for baseball. And baseball today brought to you by Budweiser, with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. And by Chevy's Expert Auto Service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. We are in St. Louis for day baseball. Cardinals and the Houston Astros. And Houston is looking for a sweep. Let's take a look at their lineup. And we've seen a couple of home runs from Lance Berkman. He's back in there today. It's Bourne, Keppinger, and Berkman. Then Lee, Pence, Feliz, Matsui, Quintero, and Bud Norris, the Southwest Airlines starting lineup. And they get one of the best in the business today, Chris Carpenter, in our Marshall Wireless Sprint starter, his 8th start of the year, and a perfect record, Al, at 4-0.
Great record. The ERA is going down. He is one of the best daytime pitchers. He's one of the best home pitchers. All kinds of reason to think that he'll stop the losing streak.
The defense behind Carpenter today. And we'll start with the outfield with Holiday, Colby Rasmus, and Ryan Ludwig. From left to right on the infield, Freeze, Green, Schumacher, Pujols. And the battery is Carpenter and Yadier Molina. That's our Dobbs Cardinals defense as we go around the horn. So here we go, making his team-high 8th start of the year. And first start against Houston, Chris Carpenter, 6-3 in his career in the 14 starts that he's made against the Stros. He gets Michael Bourne, and the first pitch is taken for a strike, and we're underway here in Game 3.
Astros are going to be in for a tough game. They hit as a team only .229. The Cardinals defense has provided 9 unearned runs in the first 2 games of this series.
And this is a Houston club that had been shut out 5 games this year. They had 1 run in 7 games, and yet they've got 15 runs in 2 games against the Cardinals in this series. But that's baseball, isn't it?
It's baseball, and take some funny bounces here and there.
A low strike. Jim Joyce, you can hear him up here, our home plate umpire. You know when it's a strike.
And I've always felt the beauty of baseball.
And Bourne hits a fly ball out to center. Colby backing up to make the catch.
Any given day, a pitcher, and kind of makes you think of Bud Norris, can go out and throw a gem, maybe a mismatch on paper, but you play the games between the white lines, and any given day, someone can just have a spectacular day and take a sure victory away from somebody.
But this is the guy that you pointed to all the time as you get a look at Keppinger as being your ace and stopper when you have that losing streak and things piling up against your team, and Carpenter goes out there and shuts the door.
Well, just his attitude on the mound. Real bulldog. Probably the greatest compliment that I can pay Carpenter is, to me, in many ways, he's Bob Gibson-like. You know, he's that fierce competitor. He's out there in the mound. It's all business, and he obviously has great stuff.
And quickly, that is strike 2 on Jeff Keppinger. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out and nobody on. Just underway here at Busch Stadium, the Cards and Stros in Game 3. And a swing and a miss, and tagging out Keppinger, it's Yadier Molina, so quickly 2 outs. Let's take a look at our keys to the game and the careers of Matsui, Berkman, Quintero against Carpenter. Berkman, 6 home runs, 12 RBIs. That's a major league high against Carp. Matsui, a switch hitter, 5 for 11. Quintero, 3 for 3. Shut those 3 down, you'd figure that Chris Carpenter has success today.
And Berkman, who's hit home runs in the first 2 games of this series, now the all-time leading home run hitter against the Cardinals as a visiting player. He's hit 39 home runs. That surpassed Bagwell's 38, and he's 10 more than the second competitor.
And Berkman hits it fair down the first base line over to get it Ludwig, and Lance Berkman with a double. How about Lance Berkman? Last night he hit a home run. He drew 4 walks. And you might think that that would happen more often, but it's only the second time in the past 5 seasons that a major leaguer has done that in a 9-inning game.
Breaking ball coming across the plate, right into his wheelhouse, in the middle of the plate, but in the middle of the strike zone.
And here is Carlos Lee, who's hitting .203, couple of home runs. He's driven in 11.
Right now, if you can contain Berkman and Carlos Lee, you've got a good case to make another winning statement.
Lance Berkman was on the pregame show with Mike Shannon. Those two talked about the importance of missing at-bats, especially in spring training, and how you, no matter how many years you've been doing it, you still need a few at-bats just to get your timing down.
Well, Berkman had the left knee surgery during spring training, so he missed just about all of spring training in the first 12 games of the season. So his spring training came at the start of the season, and now he's over 200.
Can't be easy to be sitting out games, watching your team lose, and it's 3 balls, no strikes, and that's something that Berkman had to do. He is the face of their franchise. Biggio retired, Bagwell gone, Oswalt, you see him every 5th day, but this guy's out there every day, and that's Berkman.
He's 34 years of age now.
And now the Astros hold an option on Berkman, and a lot of people believe that instead of trading him, that they will keep him aboard. Ownership really wants a couple of guys that they feel can help draw fans, and Berkman is one of those players. Hefty price tag next year, close to $15 million.
You have to have a few veterans. Carlos Lee will still be in the middle of his monster contract. And you have to have a couple of these guys to lead the younger players. It's got to be a blend.
Full count on Carlos Lee. Here comes a 3-2. Breaking ball and just missed inside. So a 3-2 curveball misses in. And Carpenter, I think, and Molina thought they had strike 3. Brings in Hunter Pence, the right fielder. Saw a home run allowed by Kyle Loesch last night. That was in the 4th inning to Berkman, and it marked the first home run allowed at home by a Cardinals starting pitcher in over 100 innings.
Isn't that amazing?
It was 100 2/3 innings that a starter had not allowed a home run here at Busch Stadium. That is amazing.
And Dan, I may be off by 1 or 2, but maybe only 3 home runs by relievers. So Dave Duncan's forces have done a great job, that allowed the fewest home runs of any team in the National League, and that's part of the winning equation.
0-1 pitch. Hit down the right field line. Ludwig in foul territory makes the catch. Berkman the double, lead the walk. Those two are stranded. Cardinals coming up against Bud Norris when we come back. And Houston strands two in the top half. And we're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. A look at Tony La Russa's lineup. Skip Schumacher, Ryan Ludwig, and Albert Pujols. Then Matt Holliday, David Freese, Colby Rasmus, Yadier Molina, Tyler Green in there for Brendan Ryan, and Chris Carpenter batting ninth. Southwest Airlines starting lineup against right-hander Bud Norris, the young man out of California, attended Cal Poly, and he has been tremendous against St. Louis. Liner into center, leadoff base hit for Schumacher. Houston's defense will start with the outfield with Lee, Bourne, and Pence. Left to right on the infield, Feliz, Keppinger, Matsui, and Berkman. The battery today presented by Dobbs, Bud Norris, and Humberto Quintero. Ryan Ludwig, the hitter. 6 for 9 in this series. Couple of doubles and 3 runs scored.
And over 600 against Houston this year. 3 hits in the first 2 games of this series each.
And this could be 2. Hit to short, out at second. Matsui the turn, double play, 6-4-3. 6-4-3 off the bat of Ludwig, and it brings in Albert Pujols. Bud Norris was the PCL Pitcher of the Year a season ago. He was 4-9, and yet named the Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Year. He had a 2.63 ERA. He made 19 starts at AAA Round Rock, and then was called up once Oswalt was injured. And he actually made his Major League debut against the Cardinals and had a no-hitter going into the 6th in that game.
Dan, he's faced the Cardinals 3 previous times. He's not allowed an earned run in those 3 outings. He's 3-0, and the Cardinals have only scored 1 time against him, an unearned run.
That first start this year against the Cardinals, Bud Norris struck Pujols out twice, and he was able to get him to chase and expand the zone, especially with his slider.
Now, they felt that he had a lot of close pitches were given to Norris, but you can see the breaking ball that a lot of guys may not be picking it up very well because they chase it outside of the strike zone, and he's got a good enough fastball that he can throw it by you too.
Pujols pops it up, calling for it, Matsui. Into shallow right, he's there. The second baseman has it. We played 1, and at Busch Stadium, there's no score. Act with Fox Sports Midwest announcers Cal Eldred, Pat Parrish, Jim Hayes, Ricky Hort. They're all up there, and you can join in the chat right now at foxsportsmidwest.com. Pedro Feliz will lead it off, the third baseman for Houston. Picked up career hit number 1,000 in the second inning of yesterday's game. And he hits a fly ball into right center. Colby over, in front of the track to make the catch.
I think the projected rain will stay away, but I think these teams are saying it's getaway day, and they're going to make sure this game isn't interrupted by rain.
5 pitches in the first inning by Bud Norris. That's all it took to get the 3 outs.
Lee swinging at the first pitch. He makes an out here in the second. Matsui has success against Carpenter, but not this year. Only batting 175.
First pitch, a strike. Well, Feliz not the only one that looking at a milestone this year. You see Matsui 0 for 3 in game 1. Lance Berkman needed 25 runs for 1,000. Closing in on 1,000 walks as well. Roy Oswalt 6 wins away from 145, which would be the club record. And there's a strikeout of Matsui. And Carlos Lee is 48 runs away from 1,000. Two strikeouts for Carp.
You see his patented sinker, the two-seam fastball. This was a couple pitches back in Matsui. And you know, one thing Dave Duncan has really preached, really perfect that sinker, get ground balls, get hitters out early in the count.
Here's Quintero.
A lot of the Cardinal starters don't really max out every velocity.
Little liner into right. Ludwig is there. We'll talk about that two-seam grip when we come back of Chris Carpenter's. Explain that grip, Al.
Well, really what you're basically going to do is your two fingers slightly spread apart, but you're not throwing across seams. You're going to catch the horseshoe part of the ball, get on top of it, lead with your elbows so you can have the fulcrum to come down and pull it down, and it'll start out, and then watch how it moves down and away, and it just freezes the hitter. So it's a two-seam fastball. That's the one that has sinking action, designed to get a ground ball.
And you noted last night, I think rightfully so, as you get a look at Matt Holliday here in the bottom of the second, we have not seen Kyle Loesch throw that nearly as much as we did a couple of years ago. And you just have to wonder if it's a confidence thing, a feel thing, but he certainly isn't throwing it as much. As Holiday hits it down the right field line, this is trouble. And a ground rule double.
Well, Dan, it's a great observation. And in my mind, and Loesch talked a little bit about it and saying, well, I can't get it down. Well, keep on throwing it. You know, we give hitters way too much credit and try to throw so many breaking balls. But he's leaving everything up in the plate. Set up away, but you see what happens, and that ball's up over the middle of the plate, becomes a much more hittable pitch. And, you know, in Loesch's case, throwing way too many breaking balls, but all of his fastballs were very close, almost looked like he got him in the helmet before he got to the bag. But if you're elevating your pitches, that sinker doesn't sink. And if you're throwing it in the middle of the plate, it becomes so much hittable. So you sneak in the daylight play, and he misses the tag, but very close.
Here's David Freese. He's been outstanding here at Busch Stadium. He's first among rookies, hitting .321.
If you miss like what Norris just did, down in the zone. If you hit that ball, you really pound it in the dirt.
But David Freese is hitting .458 here at Busch Stadium. 1-0 pitch. And sometimes you would think maybe a hometown guy would put more pressure on himself being at his stadium, his home stadium, with all these family and friends that are at the ballpark night in and night out.
Some guys have succumbed to the pressures of playing at home. Other ones thrive.
1-2 on David Freese. You see at home this year the 3 home runs to go along with the big average and 14 RBIs. And on the year, David at 22.
That's the best home average. He's leading all rookies in batting average overall at .321. Second in RBIs with rookies. And remarkable what he's done with runners in scoring position.
1-2 pitch inside. Jason Hayward picked up an RBI double last night for Atlanta. Their young 20-year-old right fielder has 28 RBIs.
And now you see him batting third with Chipper Jones out. So they really, as the Cardinals are trying to take pressure off of David, they're asking Hayward to carry the load.
2-2 pitch. That didn't take long. We were wondering when Hayward would move up in their lineup, and here we are, middle of May, not even, and he's up there. Time again for the Cardinals Alumni Kids Clinic. Scott Terry leads the charge once again. Boys and girls ages 7 to 13 can learn baseball fundamentals from former Cardinal greats Rick Horton, Kerry Robinson. Mabes will be part of that, John Mabry. And it's one-day clinics this summer at St. Louis area ball fields. Jack Clark is going to be doing some of this as well. Cliff Polite has been added to it. And just head to cardinals.com/clinics. It's something that was started about 6 years ago by Scott Terry, wanting to give back to the community, and it's something that I know a lot of fans have talked about. Sons and daughters have taken in those clinics, and they do a great job. And an 0-1 pitch to Colby.
Let's go back to strike one here in this sequence with Rasmus. Set up away, and look at that. Little moves from the outside to the inside. Little slider, gives up on it. A left-handed batter, and you get an easy strike. And it's hard to hit that ball also.
That's ripped and caught by Berkman, and a double play. Keppinger steps on the bag at second, and Berkman takes an extra base hit and RBI away. against Houston. And we started this on the pregame show. We'll carry it over to the ball game now. Text NLCS A, B, C, or D 432-432. Edmonds in there a couple of times. Albert's Game 5 home run. Roland's home run in Game 7 off of Roger Clemens. Can't go wrong with any of those. Jim Hayes has joined us. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin with you. And an 0-1 pitch. Hit sharply to third. Backing up Freeze with those soft hands. Makes the play. But Norris retired. Al, I'll start with you. Favorite moment? Which one ranks higher than the others?
Well, they're all great. You know, the Pujols, which won that, you know, with the great home run up on the train tracks in Houston.
The dramatics of that.
The dramatics of it kind of crushed them, but they really didn't have much of an effect because they came back and won the series.
Yeah, Oswalt was just unbelievable in that next game.
You know, Jimmy's, you know, saved the catch, you know, saving catch, and also the home run the next day, you know, were memorable, and the Cardinals won that series, so that sticks out.
It was the home run Game 6, sent it to 7, then Edmonds made the catch with Suppan and that great play in left center.
Osmus, right?
That's right, Brad Osmus.
If he doesn't make that play, the Cardinals lose.
They probably do.
There's Oswalt, who we have not faced their ace this season.
Here's a 2-1 pitch to Michael Bourne. I'm going to go with Edmonds' home run in extra innings just because
and that perpetuated to go to Game 7. That was well into the extra innings, wasn't it?
That's right.
I'm going Pujols home run, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, we're not interested.
Oh, Al. This is why we invite him in here.
I understand your explanation was so long-winded that you've lost interest in the whole
Correct.
in the whole idea.
Correct.
I'm going Pujols based on the moment. That place was insanely loud, buzzing, and all. The crowd was into it. You couldn't hear yourself think. And on the moment that ball jumped off Pujols' bat, dead silence. I had never heard a place go from that loud to that quiet before.
Well, you can vote and just text in your answer. We'll have it for you later. Follow the Cardinals on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, Android phone. It's MLB.com at Bat 2010. Get play-by-play, video highlights, and also audio broadcasts. For more info, visit Cardinals.com today.
Nice welcome in by Al. Thank you for
that. Jim, like we said, that was an unbelievable moment. But if you talk to the Astro players, they were impressed by the magnitude of that home run, but it just had no carryover effect.
Al, I was telling you, I had a chance to work with Morgan Ensberg, the third baseman for a number of years with Houston, and a couple weeks ago we were doing a game, and I said, I've always wanted to ask you about that home run. What was it like? And he said, to be honest with you, it got played up so big nationally, and he goes, I guess rightfully so, but he said we as players knew we had, at that time, we felt the best pitcher on the planet in Oswalt going in the next game. We really weren't overly concerned because we had so much confidence in Roy that from a player's perspective, it just wasn't that big a deal, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Except if you're Brad Lidge, and it's going to take you a couple of seasons to rediscover yourself.
Well,
and I think that's way overblown, too.
And he would tell you that as well. Took him a while to find that slider again.
I think what's more important is the impact that Ensberg said when Oswalt's on the mound, or in the case of Carpenter or Wainwright, just the lift. The teammates come to the ballpark and they're expecting to win. They know that this guy could shut down. It could be a shutdown game. They can relax. They know the runs are going to be probably at a premium. They don't have to score a lot of runs because they got a quality pitcher out there and a guy that is really their leader.
2 balls and a strike on Keppinger. Had a big hit last night. Runner goes, slowly hit. Tough play here for Freeze. Bare hands, throws to first. Safe. Made it close, and it's first and second with 1 out. Base hit for Keppinger.
Nice job just making that close. He's really been impressive, don't you think, Al, with what he's done defensively?
Well, he had a little rough start, really basically a bad inning, and everyone got a little excited about it. Very close play there. What do you think on the naked eye? He's safe, and he's safe by the replay for sure. But as you said, David Freese is noted as a guy that maybe when he gets his feet wet, he just relaxes, becomes a very good player, and that's what we've seen from him. That ability to come in there, let the ball roll to you from your fingertip or in your palm down to your fingertips and make that off-balance throw. It was perfect, but just not enough.
Shift was on, base hit into center. The wave in Bourne, and the throw will come. It looked like he was trying to go to Tyler Green, and Carpenter picks it up, and this game is now tied 1-1 on a base hit by Berkman and an RBI. So shift was on. I don't think even if they played it straight up, there's any chance to get it. Hard hit ball. And there's your shortstop, Tyler Green. Big hole there, left side.
Well, he's playing normal shortstop position. He doesn't come up with that. But if he's playing right behind second base or just shadowing the third base side ever so slightly, that ball's right to him. But he was on the first base side of second.
So 1-0 lead for Houston. And Lee pops it up. Green will call for it. Infield fly. And that throw, an odd throw by Colby Rasmus, and it looked like he looked up, maybe thought about going to the plate. Bourne was easily going to score.
Look at this. Carpenter, as we all know, Carpenter just such a force out there and verbalizes his frustrations at times. And he must have said something to Carlos Lee, and Lee started coming towards the mound.
Second time we've seen this with Carpenter this year. The other time was in Arizona. Here come the bullpens.
It's all for show, but Carpenter, I mean, this is the aspect of a competitor that he is, that, at times, he might make a comment. It's like, what are you doing swinging so hard? What do you think? You're going to hit that one out, pop it up? But it's just how much he's into the game.
He had the incident where he went into second base hard, and he said, I was wrong on that one.
Yes. That was when he was hit by the pitch, and he wanted to take it out on a middle infielder, but he was thrown out by 20 feet. He did go after the middle infielder, but it was like, wait a minute, it's ridiculous.
Well, let's take a look. As Lee pops out to short.
Well, it's a hanging breaking ball, and Lee thinks he should have hit it out. And Carpenter took exception to that. It's like, well, who do you think you are? You're only batting 200. And that's what it is two competitors, just one guy's upset because he didn't hit it out. The other guy's saying you're showing me up. What is also wrong right now is these umpires have warned both sides over nothing.
We saw Brad Penny get upset in a separate incident because the guy fouled off a pitch and acted like he should have gone deep with it.
Dan, we've had a couple incidents where hitters have committed one of the biggest sins by running across a pitcher's mound after making it out. That is an absolute no-no. But as a pitcher's attitude is he's the only one that's elevated. He's up on that throne. And you really believe that you are the king, and everybody underneath, is, your defense is that's your knights and your serfs and everything else. But you have to have that superiority when you're out there.
Unless,
he takes it, and like I said, the best thing I can say about Carpenter is he's Bob Gibson-like.
Unless, of course, there's a pop-up right to the pitcher, then you have to leave the throne and let one of the serfs get it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because he's the traffic cop then, and he said, hey, I'm too good to catch this little measly pop-up. I want somebody else to do it. Yeah, it's kind of hard to be a king and a traffic cop at the same time. But
now
that's why
they're medieval.
They're all dual purpose.
But here's the thing. I think we all knew what you're talking about, Al.
I was confused, Dan.
No, you weren't. Because you guys are about the same level. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and runners at first and second.
If we were smart enough, we might think he took a shot at us. But we don't know.
No, we're smiling. All right, Dan, thanks.
Pence a swing and a miss. It's interesting you do say that, though, Al, because we have talked to, current players and even former players, and some said, well, I've never really heard of that, where you make it out, you run over the mound, and it's a big deal. Where other guys said, oh, you bet it's a big deal. That bothers me as a pitcher. That's my mound. That's no one else that's supposed to be out there.
I one time in a game told my first baseman, Joe Torre, to get off my mound.
Your own player?
My own player, teammate. He dropped a pop-up on the mound, and he went to see if I was okay. It was in the 13th inning of last week of the season in a pennant race. As a matter of fact, Bob Gibson went 9 innings, and I went 4 innings. And our last 9 we combined for a no-hitter, but I committed a big sin, walked with 2 outs, I walked my first man in the 4th inning, and then the next guy hit a pop-up right on the mound, and Joe called for it, tapped his glove, closed his glove 1 split second before dropping it. And he was kind of embarrassed. It was in the middle of the pennant race, and he came to see me. I was a relatively young player, and he wanted to see if I was okay, and I said, get off my mound. And he looked stunned. And I told him, I said, you didn't ask permission. And he kind of laughed, asked permission, and I said, Joe, thanks a lot. This game has been so good, I want to end it on a strikeout. You did me a favor, and he knew at that point, okay, he could relax, I was all right, and struck out Hebner to end the game.
And away you went.
Away we went.
2 outs, 2 on, 2-2, 1-0 Houston.
Can I ask one follow-up? As the king of the mound, on the other part of the inning when the other pitcher is out there, how do you feel about that?
I'm gathering my army together for the next battle.
Because it's really only your mound for half the game anyway.
Yes, but he doesn't feel that way because he knows
it's yours.
It's mine.
2-2 pitch.
No more follow-ups.
Tapped foul.
I thought it was a good question.
For someone of my level.
I did not say that. Dan was thinking it, but
I'm just trying to get all the Knights and Kings and
Surfs,
getting them all in order. 2-2 pitch. This is well hit in the left center. Rasmus will watch this one go. It's a home run. Hunter Pence to make it 4-0 Houston. A 3-run shot and his second home run in the series. Hunter Pence, 5th overall, RBIs 12, 13, and 14.
Hunter Pence got off to a slow start, but he's been heating it up of late.
Not to make excuses, but you always go back and you wonder if a guy gets a little unnerved after something like that happens.
Well, he didn't. He just made a bad pitch. When you miss location, these guys are the best, and they're going to make you pay.
Here's Feliz, and that pitch is taken low.
That's the 6th home run that Carpenter's allowed this year. All last season, he gave up 7.
2-0.
Not just Pence, but a number of Astros have gotten healthy offensively in their trip to St. Louis. Lance Berkman's on a tear, too.
They were batting about 220 coming into this series. Started out today at 229. They've been shut out 5 times.
And that's already, for Chris Carpenter, unlike him, his 3rd walk. Out to visit Dave Duncan. You don't see this very often either.
No. And really just slow him down because for whatever reason, Chris is letting this game slip away, and so you just kind of slow him down, get him back on track. This club's been having trouble scoring runs, and sometimes as a pitcher you feel like you've got to shut down the opposition, or then once you're not having the game that you planned, you get behind and you just feel like, well, there's no way your team can survive or come from behind. Well,
you see Lee there explaining to Berkman what happened, and one of the first guys that got to Carpenter was Lance Berkman.
Well, Berkman He was out there as a peacemaker.
He was on the bases, so that was easy for him to get there. And you know, these two guys, Carpenter and Berkman, know each other well throughout the years. Great respect for each other, too.
Well, we have always, you know, when you go back to the Killer Bees, Bagwell and Biggio, this was a rivalry that had tremendous respect for each other. And I think Berkman was the first one to kind of learn that creed, learn, you know, how to compete aggressively against an opposition, but also to have respect for him.
Playing in was Freeze. He'll go across the diamond. Matsui retired. RBI for Berkman and a 3-run homer for Pence. 4-0. The thirst-inning fan cam, see who's enjoying the game. Budweiser, it's what we do. We are at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Hopefully the rain will stay away. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin, and Jim Hayes with you. And fellas, Cincinnati not playing today, so if the Cardinals would drop this game, add some intrigue to the weekend series, Cardinals would be just a half game up going to the Great American Ballpark. Be a lot of fun there.
It'd be a lot of fun. Absolutely. The Reds are playing good baseball. We thought that they were going to be a sleeper in the division, and they woke up.
Yeah, we just saw Tony La Russa during the commercial break visiting with home plate umpire Jim Joyce. And you have to wonder if he was questioning the warnings on each side.
Well, I thought it was totally an overkill. You know, what happened is already over and done with. But as, you know, Carpenter or as a pitcher, you know, if pitching inside is part of your game, you've got to continue to do that. But there was no reason to warn both benches. And now they've changed it to the point where if a pitcher hits somebody, you know, it's in the umpire's estimation whether it was intentional or not. If it wasn't intentional, he can leave that pitcher out there. So what do you need the warning for? You have the ability before the game starts. If you think a pitcher ever intentionally throws at somebody, you can throw them out without a warning.
2 balls, no strikes here in Molina.
Have you ever seen where it's had a bad effect on the pitcher because that warning's out there and affects what they do?
Well, it used to be that if warnings were issued, if a pitcher hit anyone after that point, whether it was intentional or not, it was an automatic ejection for the pitcher and for the manager. And I saw times where, you know, a guy spin a breaking ball, got away, obviously not intentional, and they had to eject him.
It's a strikeout of Yadier Molina. 2 on the afternoon. Six Flags Day at Busch Stadium. Join us at the park on Sunday, May 23rd. Cardinals take on the Angels in interleague play. All fans 48 inches and under receive a free ticket to Six Flags. And for tickets to the game, visit us online at Cardinals.com. Which would be interesting now, Al, if you had a situation, let's just say Tyler Green gets hit, you know, up to the discretion of the umpire to throw him out, and you're saying he's out.
No, in old rules, he would be out, no matter what.
And that's what I mean.
But what happens now is say Tyler gets hit, then Tony La Russa is screaming and is upset and may get thrown out of the game if they don't throw the pitcher out.
Green hits it on a hop to second. Matsui settles and throws and makes the play.
The intention is to stop any altercations, but in some cases it creates them.
Jim, we see that shortstop Brendan Ryan has the day off, and probably much needed mental break for him. Tyler Green getting the start. You're in the locker room every night after the games. How has Brendan handled the last couple of nights, which have been very difficult with 2 errors in both those games?
He's been accessible. Last night he talked about feeling that he had a couple of tough chances on those errors, and he still says, I'm a good defensive player, and I think I've done a very good job about not letting my offensive troubles bleed over into my defense.
Which is interesting, and you'd have to figure that maybe that's part of the problem. Even Tony La Russa was saying, just make the routine play. He's got great range, and now we've seen that time and again, but just make the routine play.
No doubt about it, and I agree with Brendan that he is an exceptional defensive player. I think it's too simplistic to say he's taken his offensive problems out to the field. I think it's just a circumstance. He's made those 5 errors in the last 3 games.
Jim, stick around for another half inning. That's a strikeout of Carpenter, and 3 in the game for Bud Norris. Here in St. Louis, slight delay is something looked like a baseball or maybe a
batting glove or
batting glove made its way onto the field, so they take care of that. And the first pitch, a strike to Quintero. Also, one of the other guys that you had the chance to visit with was Kyle Loesch after the game, and that was certainly a rough outing for him, and lifted midway through an at-bat.
Totally disappointed by that. Felt he should have pitched better, but basically said it's not a mechanical thing. He just lost concentration, for lack of a better term, on certain pitches. He got them up, they were hittable, and the mistakes were hit.
We talked about it, Al, the fact that a lot of pitches up, and he recognizes that, but getting back to his two-seamer has to be something that I'm sure Dave Duncan has expressed to him, as he had great success with that 2 years ago. Baseball today brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. And right now, Jack in the Box is offering a variety of menu items and letting people choose any three for only $3 plus tax.
Obviously, with the way things went on the road trip and here over the first 2 games at home against the Astros, there are some things to look at with things maybe going in the wrong direction for the Cardinals. But Ryan Franklin put it great. He said, "You think we're panicking?" No, we're not panicking. He said those guys were very confident. The guys who can hit will hit, and some of the guys who haven't been at their best pitching-wise will pitch well.
Schumacher to Albert, and Albert was even saying, "Just wait until we click. We realize as players we know we haven't clicked offensively just yet."
We talked to a lot of clubs. Really feel that after 40, 45, 50 games, if they're at 500. Around 500, they're very happy because they know that they're going to take off. Last season, the Cardinals got off to a similar start. Then they hit a tailspin, fell out of first place, but they held it together first half. Then they got Holiday and DeRosa and Lugo, and then they really took off. So they're absolutely right. You don't want to panic, but you don't want to have prolonged slumps.
Well, Franklin also said he thinks the most important thing in baseball, most people I think would agree, starting pitching. And that's been great.
Strikeout at Bourne. 4 today for Carpenter. Thanks, Jim. We'll check in with you on the postgame show. 4-0 Houston. Now at FoxSportsMidwest.com. Live chat happening as we speak. They'll continue that through the final out of our ball game today. FoxSportsMidwest.com.
And we want to send off very special goodwill wishes to Jane Berida. She's resting comfortably in the home of Judy and John, recovering from a little illness. And so we wish Jane Berida a very speedy recovery and get back here to the ballpark.
4-0 Houston in the Cardinals half of the fourth. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're at the top of the lineup. Skip Schumacher, Ryan Ludwig, Albert Pujols. The Cardinals have gone 8 games without hitting a home run. And they started out this year, it seemed like anytime they scored a run, it was with the home run.
Early in the season, 60% plus of runs scored were via the home run, and you were a little concerned about that dependency.
Didn't take long for Skip to get back in that leadoff spot. 1 game, he was out. Now he's back up at the top of the lineup.
Well, he had success in the past against last night's starter, Wandy Rodriguez, but Led off with a base hit. That was his first hit in 8 appearances against Norris, who really has done a good job of containing the first 4 in the order. You know, he keeps those guys in check, and that's a good formula for winning against the Cardinals.
And Schumacher, no argument. That's that little backdoor breaking ball, and he gets the left-handed hitting Skip Schumacher. After the game, broadcast from the Aqua Bar at Lumiere Place Casino. Rick Horton will be part of the show with Pat Paris right after the game right here on Fox Sports Midwest.
For whatever reason, Norris has the Cardinals' number. This is his 4th start, and the Cardinals have only scored 1 time against him, an unearned run. But he has a 9-point ERA against everyone else in the National League, so go figure.
Just makes no sense at all.
No sense at all at how he can dominate against the Cardinals and struggle. He'll throw a lot of pitches, but even that hasn't been that bad today. And he threw 106 pitches through 5 innings in his first start this year against the Redbirds. Struck out 9.
Won his first 3 starts when he came up. He beat the Cardinals, then 2 others. And that was the first pitcher to do that since Roger Clemens won his first 7 in a row in 2004. 3-1. He was named the Astros' #2 prospect by Baseball America prior to the 09 season. He also said he had the best fastball in their system. 3-1 pitch. 3-2. He is one of 4 players to play in the major league since 2000. Goes by the name of Bud. Buddy Groom. Buddy Carlisle. We know the other Bud threw a no-hitter. Bud Smith. How about that? 3-0 to a strikeout. So Bud Norris with 2 strikeouts in the inning, 5 in the game. And now get Cardinals banking only from Bank of America. You'll get the Cardinals logo on your debit card, credit card, and checks. Plus, get extra base rewards with every credit card purchase. Learn more at a banking center or bankofamerica.com/Cardinals. What is going on here? Bud Norris turns into Cy Young.
It's almost as if the Cardinals just don't really pick up the flight of the ball. Then it seems like they chase pitches out of the strike zone.
Pujols pops it up right side. Berkman over near the Cardinal dugout and out of play. Rittner High School is hosting a card show and auction on Saturday beginning at 9 a.m. Jack Clark and Tom Henke will be there signing autographs in the morning. That's at Rittner High School, and a card show and auction beginning at 9 this Saturday. Don Thompson, who works for the Cardinals, does a great job with that. 1-1 pitch. Popped up again.
Off balance.
Matsui there, under it. The Cardinals through 4 innings with 2 hits. They've struck out 5 times, and Norris is cruising. It's 4-0 Astros. Turn to our This Date in Baseball history. Stan the Man collects hit number 3,000 at Wrigley. 5-3 win for the Cardinals over the Cubs. 8th player at the time to reach that milestone. Odrobowski back in 1958 gave that up. Base hit to start the inning. And that's Keppinger, who is 2 for 3. Active players, take a look at the career hit leaders. And Jeter is closing in on 3,000 along with Ken Griffey Jr. Omar Vizquel still going. A-Rod at 2,500 plus along with Manny Ramirez. Now Griffey, this could be his final year. Vizquel, you never know. A-Rod, you would figure would get there. And Manny Ramirez, not too sure what may happen with him after this year.
Jeter and A-Rod, you would think would be locks.
That's slapped the other way. Base hit for Berkman. 2 pitches and 2 hits.
And Berkman is 3 for 3 today. That is 9 consecutive times of reaching base. 4 walks, 2 hits last night.
And again, it's worth repeating. Hit a home run last night, drew 4 walks, and this is a look at our Fox tracks presented by Southwest Airlines.
Not a bad pitch, but
and now Lee. Remember what happened last time with these two. Bench is cleared.
Well, that's not uncommon for what happened, and it was also the reaction from 2 guys wasn't that uncommon years ago. You know, Lee thought he missed a pitch, popped it up, voiced his displeasure. Carpenter didn't like the way, you think you're going to hit a home run off of me? Well, he hung a pitch, but Carpenter just that type of bulldog, and it's just the competitive nature of guys what comes out. Nothing wrong with it.
Both bullpens emptied onto the field. Let's take it low. 2 balls and a strike. Lee has been an RBI machine for Houston prior to this year, but it's early. 119 in his first year after signing his big deal, 100, and then 102 last year in those RBIs. Low strike, 2-2. They signed him after their World Series year. Looking to get some offense. That was their biggest complaint. They didn't have enough, and they figured Lee would be a guy that would give them that shot in the arm.
And he's produced for them.
No doubt. He's from Panama, and he signed with the White Sox when he was 17 years old.
A very successful cattle rancher.
3-2 into right. Ludwig makes the catch. Hunter Pence with the big blow in this game. A long home run into left center. It was a 3-run shot that made it 4-0.
Extend his hitting streak to 5 games, season-long high.
And shoots that one foul. Take you back to the home run, 3rd inning.
Breaking ball that didn't get away. 429 feet on the 3-run shot.
Attended the University of Texas Arlington. Played 2 seasons there for the Mavericks. Then signed by the Astros. This could be 2. Schumacher, Green, first, double play for 6-3. Matt Holliday, who is doubled, leads it off when we come back. few moments ago, Al would say, get off my mound.
Well, what is Berkman doing here? But in defense of Norris, he doesn't know the proper protocol. And then he also is saying, hey, you are 3 for 3. You did drive in the first run of the game, so I guess you can touch the back of my mound, not the front, the back.
And you did help start a double play on a line drive.
Very true. So,
and you're the face of the franchise.
And that rubber cleat cleaner out the back of the mound doesn't do any good.
So go ahead.
So go ahead.
Al, you've softened in 2 innings.
Oh, there it is. The only thing they've done for the pitchers in the last 50 years.
How many times I've heard you say that?
And it doesn't work. The old tongue depressor is the best way to clean your spikes.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Holliday. Sharply hit to short. Keppinger up with it. Low throw, and Holliday retired. That's 8 in a row he's set down. When was the last time the Astros swept a 3-game series in St. Louis? AT&T trivia question. And it was back in 2004. That was a 3-game set. They did have a 2-game sweep in 2006. David Freese, who struck out first time. It's that pitch right there that we've seen in Game 1 that he pitched in earlier this year, and now here in Game 2 that we've seen Norris that's gotten these right-handed batters.
That's what we're talking about. You know, they're either going up there guessing fastball and they can't stop their swing on that little slider. Talk with McGuire about a difference. Even since he's been playing, the guys go up there and look for a pitch a lot more than location. Now, he would say, you know, at times I'd look for the ball away, but I knew the guy had a fastball. I knew he had a slider, so I was prepared for either or. Where today, he said, a lot of these guys, because of all the video, they'll guess and look for one specific pitch.
Check
Fooled
swing
again.
Yep. Berkman takes it himself, steps on the bag. Should be a great giveaway for our fans coming up in the next homestand. It's the Bob Gibson replica Hall of Fame statue that sits outside Busch Stadium. And it's for fans 16 and older. They'll get the Gibson replica statue, compliments of Edward Jones, and get your tickets by calling 345-9000. Visit Cardinals.com. And that will be on Friday. So a week from tomorrow, May 21st, 25,000 fans, 16 and older will get that. So 2 outs, and here's Colby Rasmus. Rasmus had the real hard hit ball to first, and really the last one we've seen from the Cardinals that turned into a double play as Holliday was double off at second base. Average at 286, 6 home runs, and he's driven in 15. Two outs, nobody on.
Good rip right there. Fouled it right back into the mask of the catcher. And you've gotten a little bit of that left shoulder as it got almost like right in between the mask and the top of the shoulder. As a courtesy, the umpire will give him a little time. Went out, placed the ball, and then he sweeps off home plate, letting the catcher adjust.
Gap into right center field for Colby if he wants to shoot one there. They'll pitch him outside. Taken low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals head to Cincinnati tonight. Jaime Garcia and Aaron Harang tomorrow. Popped up behind home plate. Tony West working that camera that is situated right behind home plate. You see it right there, a robotic cam. And he runs that from right behind us here in the booth.
Oh, I thought he was so small he was up underneath that black tarp.
One-two pitch.
There you see West. Big dog, and then Tony West is right behind him with his magic fingers. It's amazing how we have guests come up here and They all gravitate to Tony and that camera, the joystick he operates.
It's either talk to us or go over there.
And they all do them. They all want to go see him.
They take the latter. Colby, a swing and a miss. Bud Norris with his 6th strikeout through 5 innings. Only 2 hits allowed. And now we've talked about expanding the zone. Here's a good example of it.
As a pitcher, you want to throw enough strikes to where they think that you're going to throw strikes, and then you don't throw another. And he misses location, but it was down inside off the plate. A very tough pitch to hit, and I still maintain, for whatever reason, they just don't pick up his pitches.
Breaking ball taken low and away by Pedro Feliz. 1 ball, 1 strike. Feliz here, and then the switch hitter Matsui and Quintero. 4-0 Houston. They picked up 4 runs in the 3rd. Really took something off that pitch, and Feliz was way out in front.
74-mile-an-hour curveball, but out in front, off the plate. Can't hit that ball. Fastball in. Nope, got a slider.
2-2. It was Berkman with an RBI base hit. And then the 3-run homer by Hunter Pence.
Excuse me, he's followed up with another curveball.
2-2.
Outside.
Rounder hit to short. Tyler Green with it. 1 away. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Ryan Howard and the Phillies head to Milwaukee. They'll take on Ryan Braun and the Brewers. Coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser begins at 3 on Fox.
A little controversy with the Phillies
stealing signs.
Wouldn't be the first team.
Won't be the last.
But their bullpen coach taking binoculars out to the bullpen, and Colorado accused him of trying to steal signs, relay them.
As much as video is part of the game now, there's so many things that you could pick up with an opposing pitcher. And one of the best at doing that was Jim Edmonds, as Green makes a throw to get Matsui by step. And not only with the opposition, but with his own guys, he would do that an awful lot. 2 outs, nobody on. What's on tap presented by Budweiser. Jaime Garcia and Aaron Harang. We're on the air tomorrow at 5:30 on Fox Sports Midwest, and that could be a battle for first place.
1 hitter by Cueto, and then Homer Bailey had a shutout last night against Pittsburgh. They're idle today.
Yeah, we haven't seen him yet, but we'll get our first look at Mike Leake.
Mike Leake out of, I think, Arizona State, right?
That's right. Liner into right. Ludwig makes the catch on the run. Quintero retired in a 1-2-3 inning for Carpenter. Molina, Green, and Clark coming up. Lance Berkman here in 2010, right here in St. Louis. We thought he was struggling, not so much. 5 for 8, couple of home runs, 4 runs, 4 walks against the outstanding switch hitter of the Houston Astros, and that was his single today. Driving Bourne, did a couple of hits against Carpenter. Lance Berkman has turned it up a notch or two, and looks like the Lance Berkman that we all know.
He's reached safely in his last 9 consecutive at-bats. 2 home runs, 4 walks, and 3 more base hits on top of that.
Here's Yadier Molina. Hits it down the right field line. That'll slice foul and out of play. Nice crowd on hand here at Busch Stadium. Short, brief road trip this weekend to Cincinnati, then back home on Monday night. And it's odd how the schedule makers have it for the Cardinals. 2-game series, 2-game series, and then a 3-game set.
How about the fact that the Astros have been here twice? We'll be going to Cincinnati 2 times.
That's foul and out of play. Cardinals will have Washington for 2 Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday it's Florida. And then the Angels, Mike Scioscia and the Angels will come to town Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then it's an off day and we'll head out west. Head to San Diego. They played some good baseball and surprised some folks already.
Great pitching.
The Padres, National League West, lead it by 2.5 games over San Francisco. I don't think anybody expected that. They're 21-12.
Not at all.
You know, Al, you go back to the end of last year, and they were playing good baseball, and it's carried over to the start of this regular season.
I think in many ways they were probably picked to finish last in their division. But good pitching stops other, hitting. See, here's what I'm saying. Tony's going to want, why would you rightfully say, hey, throw him out? You warned both benches.
And Yachty hit by the pitch, so Cardinals finally get a base runner. This season, it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub. It's the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. You'll find great seats, great service on StubHub all season long. Head to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. Maybe that gets the Cardinals going with something here. They haven't had a base runner since back in the second.
Comes running in on him just around the bicep area.
Now their last base hit was the leadoff double by Holiday in the second. But he was erased on a double play. The other hit was Schumacher. Leadoff base hit for the Cardinals in the first.
Tired 11 in a row.
So a very short lead at first. Here's Tyler Green. Green today has grounded out to second. 0 for 1.
Norris has been in such command. He's allowed 2 hits, and both those hits were erased on a double play. Cardinals have not stranded a runner this game. And once again, Bud Norris is not allowed, and this is 4th start, not allowed an earned run against the Cardinals. Only 1 run total in 4 starts. And a 9 ERA against the rest of the National League.
And today he has faced the minimum. To the leadoff hit by Schumacher. It's a 6-4-3 double play by Ludwig as Fredberg has made his way into the booth. Then Rasmus line into a double play, and Green strikes out. That's 7 today for Bud Norris.
And another Cardinal hitter expanding the zone and getting themselves out. Slider, they just don't pick it up, and it's amazing. Fredberg is up here because I've requested him. There's a little boy right down below us that about 4 years old that is crazy for Fredberg. So I'm going to have Fredberg go down and visit him. Half inning. I got to point him out to him.
Carpenter showing bunt, now pulls back. It's one of those situations where the secondary lead for Molina is so important with his speed. If it's bunted hard enough, Houston could get that force play at second, maybe even turn a double play with Carpenter running.
Carpenter not one of the better hitting pitchers on the staff, but almost the way they're crashing down on him on the corners, you'd almost want him to swing away.
One ball, one strike with one out and a runner at first. Carpenter gets the bunt, and it's hard to Berkman. Low throw out there. And even though the ball came out of the glove, I'm going to say that was on the throw, and Molina is out. They get the lead runner. A tough throw by Berkman, and good play by Keppinger, who's at short.
You have to have a voluntary release. And so watch, they get the force out there. Now he reaches into the glove. That constitutes the force out. And, it's a good call. He reached into the glove, and that's all you have to do. If you drop it at that point, they just say that, okay, it was a voluntary release, and the out will stand.
Now it's up to Schumacher to extend the inning with 2 down. 1 for 2. He was called out on strikes last time up. No argument. Little backdoor breaking ball. And he singled in the first, erased on the double play. Bud Norris has allowed 2 base hits. He has struck out 7. Quickly, 0-2.
First pitch of the game, Schumacher got a base hit off of Norris.
Left-hander up, and Schumacher, they'll play behind Carpenter running at first.
And also Carpenter's not going anyplace, so it makes perfect sense to get yourself in a better fielding position.
Little tapper off the plate. Berkman will step on the bag. Bud Norris through 6. 2 hits allowed and a 4-0 lead. U.S. Cellular text poll: what is the Cardinals' greatest postseason moment against Houston? And folks at home go with Albert's game-winning Game 5 home run in the 2005 NLCS. Thank you for all your votes. Edmonds was on a couple of those. I looked up his numbers prior to the game. He's curious. 88 at-bats with Milwaukee, hitting .261 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs.
He's hoping to close in to get number 400 in the home run department later this year. think he's at 384.
What do you think? Borderline talk for Hall of Fame?
Yes. No, his great defense is going to help him. He won 8 Gold Gloves. That sound right?
Bud Norris hits it to short, and the Cardinals will retire Cy Young. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Lumiere Casino. Your next home could be on the house. River City Casino and Lumiere Place Casino and Hotels is giving away a $250,000 home plus 18-room makeovers now through July 2nd. Visit rivercity.com for details. And by AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Top of the lineup again. 4th time we've seen Michael Bourne.
It's kind of been a series where the Astros have one big inning in all 3 games. Game 1 it was 4 runs, and the 7th inning, with all 4 being unearned against Penny. And Loesch had 5 unearned runs in one game. They lost 9-5 yesterday.
Carpenter is settled in. That's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
4-run 3rd inning for the Astros today.
Bryson Keppinger is 2 for 3 with a run scored. Both his hits have been singles this afternoon. Carpenter just had 1 rough inning. He's only allowed 6 hits. He has struck out 4. 3 walks, though. Those came in the first 3 innings. 2 in 1 inning. So 2 outs, and Keppinger hits it out of play and foul.
2 walks and 3 hits in that 4-run inning, including the 3-run home run by Pence.
Cardinals have a big bottom of the 7th coming up. They've got Ludwig, Pujols, Holiday. Michael Bourne, you better stay away from that mound. He did. He paired over a little bit.
Flirty.
Just went a little bit left and got away from the mound.
That's legal. Treading on the kingdom.
1-2 pitch.
But not trespassing.
2-2. Michael Bourne today. No hits, but a walk and a run scored. So Jose Oquendo talking with Bourne when both benches cleared. Holding him back a bit. Oh, and Carpenter has it. Time to stretch. Again, the big bats. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for St. Louis. Dice winner, the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run, Dwayne Webb qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit St. Charles Hyundai or a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. 2, 3, and 4 for the Redbirds, trailing 4-0 to Houston here in the bottom of the 7th. Bud Norris, again, the big story, having shut down the Redbirds yet again. Ludwig is grounded into a 6-4-3 double play and also struck out swinging back in the 4th. Norris has struck out 7.
It's the deepest he's gone into a game this year, as he usually gets his pitch count up so high.
And if you're Brad Mills, you're thinking, well, I've got Lyon and Lidstrom if he runs into trouble. 8th and 9th.
Well, see, he's only 71 pitches to this point, so he's in control.
Ludwig into center. Base hit. 0-2 mistake, a rare one by Bud Norris. So Ludwig 1 for 3, and let's go pitch by pitch, presented by Chevrolet.
Well, he throws a fastball right by Ludwig, the first one. Comes back with a little slider. It's up a little bit. Sign is he tiring? Then it gets it down. But Ludwig, a low ball hitter, goes down, gets it out into center for only the 3rd hit.
Brings in Pujols. Nobody out, runner at first. Albert today is popped out twice to the second baseman, Kaz Matsui. Pujols, by the way, passed Rogers Hornsby, sole possession of 3rd place in the Cardinals' all-time run list, 1,090. Scored the 6th inning last night. Think about that. When you're talking about your name passing Rogers Hornsby, he still has a long way to go.
He's only beginning his 10th season in the big leagues, so you see the consistency, what he's had throughout the first 9 years. Already got 3 MVPs.
2-0 is hit to short. Keppinger out at second, on to first, not in time. Keppinger ranging here to his right to make the play. Gets the lead man.
Yeah, he's up the middle, and then he throws a sinker to his second baseman. And Matsui saved an error there from the shortstop.
Holiday a double, then erased on a double play. Also grounded out to short, 1 for 2. Cardinals' active roster coming into play today, collectively 10 for 48 against Bud Norris. That's a .208 batting average.
Holiday with a hit today. That's his 2nd in his career. Ludwig's got 4 now, with 1 today and 3 for 6 previously.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And Yachty has 3 hits against him.
So Pujols now 2 for 11 against Bud Norris. One and 1 the count. Pujols a runner at first. Another good example of maybe not picking up the baseball, in particular with that little breaking ball that he's got. You see the last 5 games, Holiday 8 for 16, but check swing and a strike. He's in the hole 1 and 2.
Now he's got a good fastball, but you know, we've seen this team turn on good fastball pitchers, but they just really don't seem like they pick up the ball. There, an off-balance swing, chasing a ball out of the strike zone. 2 strikes, you got to protect a little bit, but
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Norris had 106 pitches in his game earlier against the Cardinals through 5 innings.
To the backstop it goes. Pujols has to hustle. Hit off the bricks right to Quintero. And a wild pitch charged to Norris. Quintero looked to be a little shook up after he threw it.
So far wide out there, but it comes off the brick. Karam's back. And Albert running hard, gets down there. Gotta be careful because sometimes it will come right back to that catcher if it hits the brick squarely.
2-2 the count. Freeze on deck. Cardinals trailing by 4 runs here in their half of the 7th. Cardinals have had 1 runner at second base. That was in the 2nd inning. And that was Holiday. And then he was doubled off his second. A liner by Colby Rasmus. That's been it. To give you an idea of Cardinals offense today with 7 strikeouts and only 3 base hits. And the pitch count, even with 7 strikeouts, only at 80. So you've been very efficient.
Kind of kiddingly have called Bud Norris Cy Young. Albert calls him Chuck Norris.
2-2. Up the middle, base hit. They're going to hold up Pujols, or at least they'd like to. He runs through the stop sign and scores. Ran right through the stop sign, and it makes it 4-1.
Michael Bourne, center fielder, leads the major leagues in assists with 6. He got one of the Cardinals the other night. See Oquendo holding him up, but Albert, he just runs through that sign all the time. And in this case,
put it up?
Well, I mean,
he's going to run right through it.
Yep, he does it more times than not, and this time he gets away with it.
Holiday's happy. He gets his 14th RBI, and it's a 2-hit day. And now you have David Freese.
Yeah, Holiday's starting to come around. You know, he's hit very well, 370 on the road, but his troubles have been at home, and really unbelievably anemic with runners in scoring position, but that will change. He's one of the best hitters in the game.
Good rip by Freese. 1 ball, 1 strike. We saw Pujols' ball game last night almost ended with a tag play at second, trying to be aggressive on the bases.
Right. But you just said he's 3rd in the all-time Cardinal list. He's obsessed with scoring, and more times than not, Oquendo is going to be overly aggressive. But
the only problem is, Al, you're down by 4 runs in the 7th, and if he gets caught at the plate, you know, at this point, that run, not to say it doesn't matter, but you know, you're trying to get, you know, you're trying to get back in this game. Freeze a swing and a miss.
Just continually, these guys are fishing for pitches that are so far out of the strike zone. And David's a good, you know, extra base hitter. He has that ability to go to the opposite field.
Strikeout of Freeze. 2nd time he's down. 0 for 3, and it's up to Colby. It's strikeout number 8 for Bud Norris.
Slow breaking ball, doesn't do much, but it's up there, and just sometimes you can throw it up in the zone bad enough to where it becomes a good pitch. Ball gets down a little bit and it gets crushed.
So 8 on the day. Rasmus 0 for 2 with the strikeout, also lined into a double play in the 2nd.
And with all the pitches that he has thrown out of the strike zone, Cardinals impatient have not walked once.
Isn't that something? And you've talked about not drawing walks and the fact that they do chase a lot of pitches out of the zone and swinging with pitches you can't do a lot with, and that's a bad combination.
No, it's one thing if you're missing a pitch in the strike zone, but when you're chasing a pitcher's pitch, you know, you're doing him a favor, and the art of pitching is to allow hitters to get themselves out. But you can see how it's hard for the Cardinals to generate much offense when they're chasing so many pitches.
1-1 to Colby. 1-2. The fan makes the play of the day. Barehanded catch over there.
Very nonchalant as he.
Very matter of fact.
Oh, I've been there before.
Absolutely.
I've done that. That was a nice play from an elderly gentleman.
1-2 pitch. Colby hits it to the right side. Matsui there. The Cardinals will strand a runner. That's Holiday, but they pick up the RBI from their left fielder. That's the lead to 4-1.
And in 4 career starts, Bud Norris has thrown now 25 innings against the Cardinals. They have 2 runs and only 1 earned. And he struck out 25 in those 25 innings.
Wow.
That first earned run in 4 starts was the one last inning.
He's hit a man today. He hasn't walked anybody. And now you look at those other starts, per 9 innings, how many walks that he averages outside of the starts against the Cardinals.
And not only the
Pretty
walks,
high.
but I mean, his last 2 starts, he's gone 4 and 4 2/3 and just under 100 pitches. Speaking of 100 pitches, this is number 99 for Carp.
0-2 is taken in the dirt. Lance Berkman today, see now 9 consecutive at bats he's reached base. There was one, the final at bat he had in game 1. He was on base 5 times. And now you see what he's done today. 3 hits, RBI. It's sharply to Pujols. He'll take it himself. They finally get Berkman.
And, Carpenter allowed the 4 runs back in the 3rd, but he's been throwing zeros up there. In this game, even though it's a 3-run deficit, seems a lot like game 1 of the series where the Cardinals had the lead, and it seemed like they were ahead by 10 runs before the floodgates opened up.
There's Carlos Lee. Nobody getting loose in either bullpen. Carpenter due up 3rd for the Cardinals in the bottom half of this 8th inning. 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Carpenter's got that 13-0 streak against the Central Division over the last 2 seasons. That's in jeopardy.
1-1 pitch. Taken low and away. Carlos Lee today walked. Then with 2 runners on, popped out to the shortstop in the 3rd. Bench is cleared after that. Lee and Carpenter looked like they had words. He's also lined out to right. On the ground to short. Tyler Green there. Two outs, and it brings in Pence, who has the big blast in this game. A 3-run homer, and it's our Hardy's prime cut of the game. Pitch that was up, and Pence put it in the seats in left center.
A little breaking ball, didn't have any bite, stayed up, and didn't do much, and he paid for it.
There's a fastball and a strike at 93 miles an hour. Velocity, by the way, with Carpenter, pretty good today. He's been around 93 to 95.
Right. And he's hoping that this is the last batter he faces. His team back on offense, and maybe they can get him off the hook and hopefully reward him with a big inning.
Right down the middle. Carpenter in his first 7 starts last year was 4-0. First 7 this year he's 4-0. ERA a little bit higher, but his strikeout's much better. He's struck out now 51 on the year. Make it 52. And Molina will fire to Pujols. Pence retired. And Carpenter's afternoon, you would think, is done. 4-1 Houston. Drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. By AT&T Uverse, a better TV experience. Visit att.com for details. And by Bank of America, Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Corey Sullivan takes over in left field. Defensive replacement for Carlos Lee. And the Cardinals trailing by the score of 4-1. Alan Flowers there on the left, and Kevin Landy, executive producer at Fox Sports Midwest, on the right, second row there.
Got Norris back to work.
And a base hit from Molina.
Get that bullpen working in earnest as Lyon is up.
John Jay has moved to the on-deck circle, and this will be Tyler Green. There's Lyon getting loose. I've seen him in this series.
You mentioned the Astros feel pretty comfortable when they get late in the ball game. If they can turn it over to the last couple arms in the bullpen.
Runner at first, and here's Green. Tyler today is grounded out, also struck out. Showing bunt. And takes a ball. Pitch at 93 miles an hour. There's a look at Jay. Be the pinch hitter for Carpenter. Very good pinch hitter has been Stabeno, and Jay's been very good in his own right as well.
Right. Stabeno, a couple pinch hit home runs, 6 hits. And Jay, 5 pinch hits.
Base hit by Green. And the tying run comes to the plate. So 2 singles, Molina and Tyler Green. Now John Jay pinch hitting for Chris Carpenter. But Carpenter set down the final 11 straight that he saw.
Just had the one bad inning. Boy, allowed 6 hits. Half of those came in the 4-run third inning, where he gave up 3 hits, including the 3-run home run, and he had 2 of his 3 walks in that inning. John Jay Started the season at AAA with a 16-game hitting streak. Got rewarded, and he's become a pretty good pinch hitter. 5 for 9, 5.56 average.
You know, Tony likes that righty-lefty matchup.
Arsberger will come out, the pitching coach, and talk to Norris. And
with the way things have gone here for Bud Norris, Al, taking away this start and the ones against the Cardinals, would you have a quick hook? Give him something positive to go on, because you've got to count on Bud Norris outside of starts against St. Louis.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm shocked that they are, even going out to talk to him. I agree with what you're saying. Is you go out there and you keep it a very positive experience. You make it only that he can be a winner. You might let him face one more batter, and possibility that he could end up throwing one pitch and end up leaving with a tie score.
Houston will have to go through the middle of the lineup one more time. That means Pujols and Holiday.
He's trying to win his second game. Both of them would be at the Cardinals' expense. He'd run his record to 4-0 against the Cardinals, but this season, when he's not facing the Cardinals, his ERA is over 9.
John Jay, the hitter. Bunts. Only play for Norris is to go to first. And it's second and third. It's one of those situations where you sacrifice, but he is the tying run, and he's shown in that situation, he can pick up a base hit. I would assume you're not one that likes that kind of move.
No. Some people say you play for the tie at home because it's tough to win games in extra innings. Much easier to win your home games, but we'll see how the strategy pans out.
Here's Schumacher and a foul ball. Hunter Pence is extremely shallow in right, and really all the outfielders are very shallow. Bourne can cover some ground, but very, very shallow in right field and a gap in right center.
Schumacher doesn't hit a lot of home runs. He had 4 last year. He has 1 this year, 5 RBIs, and 3 of those 5 RBIs came on one swing of the bat, the home run.
0-2.
He's 1 for 3 and 1 for 10 lifetime against Norris, 1 for 3 in this game. But he is the key at bat, and with the shallow outfielders and a big gap down the right field line and a right center, he could drive a ball and get it to the wall with ease.
And Norris wants to talk about this pitch with Quintero. Again, the tying run at home plate. No balls, 2 strikes. As Al just told you, the 1 base hit was in the first for Schumacher. Called out on strikes in the 4th. And grounded out to Lance Berkman in the 6th. On deck, Ludwig. Cardinals would love to see Pujols come up in this inning.
Key at bat is Schumacher right now.
One and 2.
Schumacher reached base safely. Can he drive in a run? Just even getting on and not making that second out.
And that's taken low. 2 and 2. Big pitch here on 2 and 2. Runners at second and third. Little chopper. That's a fair ball. Berkman then comes to the plate and out. They get the double play. Stepped on the bag and out at the plate, Yadier Molina. And the threat is over for the Cardinals.
edition of Cardinals Live. Pat Paris and Rick Horton are at the Aqua Bar at Lumiere Place, breaking down the great Bud Norris. Bud Norris versus Chuck Norris. We'll have the tail of the tape, plus player reaction straight from the Cardinal clubhouse. It's all coming up after the game. For now, it's back to the booth and Dan and Al, guys.
Well, a ground ball that's hit to first, and Berkman just stepped on the bag to get Schumacher, and then Molina thrown out at the plate. Did his left foot, though, get in there? Very close. See it going either way.
Hard to tell, but you know, Joyce was in good position right there. Very tough play. Thought there was no chance that Berkman would complete the double play.
I don't think there's any chance. But he did.
Well, Molina's not fleet of foot, and they make the out. And what a shame with runners in scoring position, Ludwig and then Pujols after that. If could have done it. So anyway, Franklin's coming in here. He needs some work.
With 23 pitches, you saw that graphic, and here's Pedro Feliz.
That was Friday, and excuse me, that was on the 7th in Pittsburgh.
0-1 pitch.
It was his first blown save, and remember that was just a runner, inherited runner at third base, and a wild pitch allowed him to come in and tie the score. He did pitch well enough to end up winning that game. Kind of a freak blown save.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Carpenter today goes 8 innings for the Cardinals. Gives up only 6 hits, but it was 1 big inning, 4 runs in the 3rd. Set down the final 11 straight. Typical Chris Carpenter, just mowed him down. But the offense has generated only 6 hits on the other side for the Cardinals. That's up the middle. Backhanded by Schumacher. Gets up. What a play to take a hit away from Pedro Feliz.
Shading up the middle, and it was able to get there. That's the placement was what allowed him to get that ball that looked like it was going into center field. So a dive, scrambles to his feet, and that great strong throwing arm. An outfielder's arm at second base makes the difference.
So takes the leadoff hit away from Feliz, and here's Matsui. Freeze is playing in on the grass, outfield straight away. Looking ahead, the Cardinals will have Ludwig, Pujols, Holiday.
Facing Lindstrom.
Lindstrom has picked up the save last couple of games. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matsui has no hits today. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout.
I got a little lucky last night getting that final out. Ended a base hit to Ludwig. He first came in and made it a little closer, and then line drive out to right.
One, 2 hit out of play. On the air tomorrow night, 5:30 from Cincinnati. Garcia and Harang in a battle for first place this weekend. Wainwright, Mike Leake in game 2. Brad Penny, Bronson Arroyo in game 3. A reminder that all 3 games will be seen on Fox Sports Midwest.
Starting to talk about Leake, the Reds' #1 draft pick last season, did not play or pitch a professional inning in the minor leagues. One of those rarities to go right from signing to the big leagues, and he's off to a good start.
Cardinals this year on the road, 10-9. Played 19 games away from Busch, and this is their 16th here at home. 1-2 pitch.
Cardinals started this 3-game homestand with a 10-3 home record and trying to avoid losing the 3rd straight.
2-2.
Scoreboard a little tardy. It's 3-2.
So full count delivery. Here it comes. Schumacher again on the run, makes the play. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals.
The 2 catchers, Quintero and Molina, in that collision at the plate. Yachty's bare knee ran into the shin guard of Quintero.
And a broken bat drops in front of Holiday. The bat carried all the way to the shortstop position, and Quintero a 2-out hit. So 2 outs and a runner at first. Quintero, his first base hit, stands at first, and now pinch hitter. Jeff Blum will be the pinch hitter. And that will finish the afternoon for Norris. Gave up an earned run in his 8 hits of work. Hit a man, but allowed only 6 base hits, and he strikes out 8. Bud Norris. So 2 outs, runner at first. The legend of Bud Norris continues.
Now in 26 innings, over 4 starts, he's allowed only 2 runs and 1 of them earned. And trying to run his record to 4-0 against the Cardinals.
1 ball, 1 strike. We saw Blum first time Astros came through. He was over at first, filling in for Berkman. He's a veteran, versatile, can play second, short, third, and first.
Be a very valuable guy on a championship caliber team.
And he was on a championship team that beat Houston, World Series team of the White Sox. So against Lidstrom, the big 3 coming up: Ludwig, Pujols, and Holiday. 3 for 13 combined. 2-1 pitch with 2 outs. Skip backhands that. So busy inning for the Cardinals second baseman. Big bats coming up in the final hope to avoid a sweep. pitches, 8 innings, 6 hits, gave up just the 1 earned run, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. He is our Budweiser player of the game. Chevy called to the bullpen. And it's the closer, Lidstrom.
Picked up his 8th save last night. Two in first 2 games of this series. He's worked 4 consecutive team games. They did have Monday off, but he's converted 20 straight saves going back to last season. And last night he allowed 1 of 2 inherited runners to score.
So 17th appearance for the hard-throwing right-hander. We noted his motion to the plate. Really deceptive in how he hides the baseball. It's 4-1 Houston. They're trying to finish this off for Bud Norris. Ludwig leads it off. Ryan Ludwig at a base in the 7th on an 0-2 mistake by Norris. A rare one. He's 1 for 4 against Lidstrom. He's also bounced into a double play and struck out. First pitch to Ludwig. Fastball and a strike at 96. Paints the black of the outside corner.
He can do that. We talk about that motion. He hides the ball well. Kind of violent. The arms and legs are kind of going all over the place. And then 96 with a pretty good slider.
That slider at 86. And you've talked about it. You'd like to see what, about 8 to 12 miles an hour difference between your fastball and slider?
A little bit more like that on the changeup, where a slider can be, you know, if you got about 10, it's you know, real deceptive.
Just missed 1 and 2.
Obviously, the more variance, the tougher it is, and then you can kind of speed it up. You can throw a harder one that usually when you're ahead in the count, you throw it out of the strike zone. Good guys to chase.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Ludwig. Doesn't chase. 2 and 2. It was interesting that the Cardinals, with a couple runners on, you saw John Jay then put down a bunt. And that's a guy that could hit you a home run and tie it up. That was last inning, the 2-2. 3 and 2. So they did have the tying run at the plate. Pujols lurking. 3 and 2. Ludwig sitting on 4 home runs. It's a sharply to short. Keppinger there makes the play. All important first out. 1 away, nobody on for Pujols. Pujols is 0 for 3. But Bud Norris in the 8 strikeouts, no walks, and it's worth repeating again that he had struggled in the strike zone. Control was a little bit of an issue at times, and 8 strikeouts today. 1 out, nobody on. Chopper to third. Feliz, high throw, and Pujols retired. Final hope, Matt Holliday.
Starting to show some signs of coming alive. Really had his struggles at home.
So 2 outs. Here's Holliday. 2 hits today. He's doubled, has an RBI single. That brought in Pujols. Also grounded out to short.
4 for 11 on the homestand. He's now hit in 6 straight games. He's 10 for 19.
One-0 pitch. A little bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes. You can hear our home plate umpire give you that description all the way up here. Ball outside.
10 for 21.
Jim Joyce, home plate umpire today. 2-0 pitch to Holliday. On its way.
Tim McClellan, better an umpire. You're feel like you're waiting all day for him to make the call, but Jim Joyce definitely can bellow it out and let you know. Reminds me of old Dutch runner.
Three 3-0 on Holiday. And a walk. Cardinals still alive. First walk the Cardinals have received. David Freese has struck out twice and also grounded out to first. And a strike.
And you touched on it with Holiday being the first walk of the game. That is one thing that the Cardinals have really cut down this year. That's an important part of the game is pitchers not throwing strikes, take the walks.
And quickly 0-2. Holiday not going anywhere over there at first base, so Berkman is off the bag, playing behind him, better fielding position.
And a guy that hits the right field a lot in Freeze. We're going to pitch him away with those sliders.
And an 0-2 pitch to David. Here it comes. Colby Rasmus on deck. One ball, 2 strikes. This time it looks like they're going in.
Fastball in.
1-2 pitch to David. Hits it in the air out to right. Pence on the move near the line, and it's a foul ball.
Took his eye off the ball right as he kind of leaves our viewing area as he gets down there near the line, and I'm not sure he would have caught it, but he was a little bit concerned about that approaching wall, and rightfully so. Not fouled by much. Dan, it's pretty simple. When the Cardinals score first, they're 14-4. When the Cardinals score 3 runs, they're 18-3. When they score fewer than 3 runs, they're 2-10. About to be 2-11. There's a slider.
1-2 pitch. Al, I've never heard you already mark down the L. Normally,
I said about to. I can change my mind if they want to change their mind.
I'm just pointing it out. Normally, we hear when the Cardinals got about 10, you're never giving up.
Fastball in.
2-2 pitch. Worth the count full. Colby on deck. Walk. Base hit. Bring the tying run to the plate. Holiday off with this pitch.
Back to slider.
3-2 from Lidstrom. Struck him out. Freese strikes out for the 3rd time. And Houston comes into St. Louis and sweeps the Cardinals. 4-1 our final.